Hello, everyone, and welcome officially to Leo season. It's a couple of days out until the full moon eclipse in Aquarius, and most of you may be feeling sort of out of sorts. Sort of out of sorts. I've been feeling that way myself, along with crazy body ailments that eclipses tend to magnify. And so I've been taking as much care as I can to those affected areas. Normally Leos have a lot of issues with spine areas. I have knee ailments or aches. I'd fallen on my knees years ago, and so every once in a while it tends to get a little stiff. But on top of that, with all of the energy in the air and the stress that we're feeling, it's really important to take care of yourself. If you can, carry with you grounding stones. Spritz yourself with frankincense or patchouli, anything that will assist you in kind of like aligning you and keeping you grounded. So it's funny, I literally slept on these cards since the last time I videoed, because as we know, Aquarius is, it encompasses the collective, and so we're all feeling this intense energy on a collective level, not just individually. And this energy is a potent, powerful time for manifestation and really honing in and keeping your focus on what it is you are wanting to achieve. The eclipse, it's like a karmic flush of the soul and an initiation into the realms of emotions. And so some of you may have been triggered by certain things that have been lying dormant. Most of these are dealing with what we inherited through our ancestral lineage, especially that of our matriarchs. We learned what it is to trust. We learned how to express our emotions. And so we formed certain opinions and personal beliefs. And it's kind of interesting because some of my triggers have been around just what it means to form healthy boundaries and having to really look at those boundaries, especially around those you trust. And so what did we learn from our mother about people when we were, let's just say, 12 years old? And especially if you're a female, how did we internalize that? How did it affect our relationships throughout our lives? Did we set those boundaries and for some reason or another kind of disregarded them? Or did we set those boundaries and kind of like firmly, just really rigidly stood by them, even when they weren't really benefiting us? And so when I drew these cards and I was saying that, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. No, we never know what life is going to throw at us. We never know where our path is going to take us. But one thing is for certain, one thing that we do know is that we do have control over how we think about where our path is leading us. We have control over continuing down a path that it may be fun. It may be, something that on a external level is something that we think that we need. But on an internal level, on a spiritual level, it may not be good for our soul. It may not be good for our divine purpose. And so Ten of Wands is here to remind us that the burdens that we picked up along the way, they'll continue to control us if we feel that, that responsibility is still ours and that we feel bound by it. And so we oppress ourselves, thinking that we can make everything okay. And then when certain triggers come along and we try to flee from them, it's not going to work that way. This is Leo season. It's time to be initiated and get deep. Get deep in those waters of emotions and express how it is we're really feeling. The Eight of Wands here, this picture, I was meditating on it, and this woman in this picture, she seems so consumed by her obligations. Are they really hers? Or are they others? Are they others that she picked up along the way? And she feels an obligation to continue to hold on to what she believes or what she thinks are her beliefs. And we're called now to let that go. It's time to stop oppressing yourself and look at how we are internalizing that resistance, because it is affecting your state of consciousness. The tens here are all about completion, so it's a completion of a cycle. It's time to drop it. Time to drop those thoughts, those fears of letting yourself down. It's like when we run across a trigger and we feel like, we've been betrayed, or, there was deceit. Is it something that's outside of ourselves, or are we, harboring that self-deceit? Just really kidding ourselves about what it is we're really responsible for, and that is our emotions. our feelings. The Seven of Cups. So many choices. So many opportunities. And if we're continuing to focus on the burdens and the obligations that we've carried along the way that are not ours, we're going to miss those opportunities that are coming to us. We're going to not be able to really focus on where it is we're going. Where do I go? Where do I turn? How do I view myself? What is my self-worth? Spirit is here to tell us to get out of our heads. And although we have to really evaluate the information that has been coming into us on a soul level, we can't get too wrapped up in it to where we are not clear on what to do next. And so it's a time where we have to really begin to trust in our abilities. Trust that we have all the tools we need. And all we have to do is open our hearts so that we may see just how much we have to offer, not only to ourselves, but to our community, to humanity. Can't continue to bear the burdens that are no longer serving us because they're outdated. This is a collective karmic flush. And so we're all are on a supercharged purge, shall we say. We asked for what we wanted. But are we believing that we are worthy of receiving it? Continue to hold steadfast in believing that what you ask for will soon be yours. It's Leo season and we have to shine, but we're not going to be able to shine if we continue to weigh ourselves down. And so we have to be grounded with our roots firmly planted and our mind focused on the path ahead. And as you all know, there's going to be a lot of planets in retrograde here. And so we use that energy to our benefits. Now, I don't really like to get into all of the aspects. I'm sure majority of you know, and depending on where they land in your chart, that's how you'll navigate it, you know? Retrograde energy is that energy where we stand back and we evaluate, we assess, we stand still. And then we plant ourselves firmly and gather the strength that we need to move forward. And we have faith that all will turn out as it should. This potent energy right now is divine orchestration. Exactly what it is. I mean, things probably have been coming in at a rapid speed. Things such as just revelations and epiphanies. Feelings of, that deep down inside that you have to change something. And change isn't easy, but change is sometimes necessary so that we can see the bigger picture, so that we can utilize our gifts. Leo season is all about passion, desire. It's about letting your light shine. That's what it's about. So allow this time to really be with yourself, not being afraid of what you see when you're delving deep into that emotional realm, because those emotions are there for a reason, and they're to be expressed, because without expressing them, we can't move forward. We won't be able to open our heart center to receive. We won't take advantage of all the opportunities that lay before us. And so remember to take care of yourselves, guys. Remember to breathe. And remember that you're not alone. As above, so below. And some people may say that it's nonsense that we take heed to what's going on above the skies. But we go through these cycles every year, and they repeat themselves. They repeat themselves so that if we didn't get the lesson the first time around, if we're lucky, we'll get it the second time. They say the third time's a charm, but the third time may never come. Be blessed, be strong, be you. But be you responsibly.